day, everyone, and welcome to Sagas of the Shimmering Sea. This is The Chosen Few, and we are back after a brief hiatus, but we have returned, and I'm excited to dive on into the story. But before we do that, we've got some things to do. We've got to chat about level ups, and we've got to chat about beliefs. So let's talk about level ups first, and then we'll do beliefs after. And we'll do it person by person too. John, how's Timothy doing?
I think Timothy's doing okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what did Timothy take when he became more and powerful?
Timothy got wiser.
He got wiser. You just increased your wisdom.
I did. Yep.
I'm excited about that. I think that's really cool. I'm excited to see what a wiser Timothy looks like. He's already intelligent. Let's see wisdom added in. I'm excited. That's exciting. What did you get your wisdom up to?
It's up to 16 now.
Nice. +3. Good place to be. All good things. And what about your or Timothy's beliefs?
Yeah, Timothy's belief, well, of course, the guiding light. Timothy abhors the loss of innocent life, and he will jeopardize himself and the mission to save even one life. And today's belief number 1 is Timothy will go after the Illumina object being auctioned off and convince the whole team to help.
Excellent.
And number 2, Timothy will get some leverage on a certain pirate queen in preparation of crossing paths again.
Ooh, intriguing. Do you have an action plan for that?
Well, I mean, just spitballing here. Curses always work well.
Oh man, I love it. I love it. I love it. I introduce curses to you guys, and you think, you know what? Yeah, that is a good way to manipulate the world. Let's do it. I'm down. I'm totally down. Awesome. Ami, how you doing?
Doing good.
And how is Thea? What did Thea get when she leveled up?
So Thea got ability score improvement.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to remember what I put because it was a couple weeks ago. I think I put dexterity up to 20, so now I'm very dexterous, even more than before. And then I think I had another point that I put somewhere else, and I can't quite remember where it went, but it went somewhere.
It went somewhere. You're a little bit more dexterous. You're a little bit something else as well.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me. Well, nothing more deadly than a dexterous rogue. That's always a good thing.
Yeah.
That's always a good thing to be. Awesome. I'm excited about that. And what about your beliefs today?
Sophia's guiding light is the same. She wants the team to get closer and to get closer to the team. Belief 1, so things seem to be a bit up in the air with the group's coming plans, and Thea will make sure she's available to help her teammates however she can.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Belief 2, Thea saw something important while in Selexa's soul and will try to confront/talk to Selexa about her relationship with the Grand Accord.
Ooh, fun. I'm excited. Excellent. Beautiful. Sounds good. Nat, did you decide on your level up?
Yeah, I decided to take skilled for Narash. And I decided that Narash, he's struggled with people skills. And so I decided as he's maturing and growing in level, I would take skill in performance, persuasion, and even crank up my insight skill to 9, since that was already a strength.
That sounds nice. That's wow, that's quite a lot of depth there. Cool. I'm excited to see a more social understanding of Narash. That'll be fun. And what about your beliefs today?
Yes. All right. So guiding light is the same. Kind of understanding the scope of my planet struggles through the lens of the battle that we're kind of fighting here on this planet. Belief 1, Narash is increasingly convinced that his quest to fight the Empire is tied to the work of the Grand Accord. He will investigate the possibility of joining the Grand Accord and bringing his proficiency with the citrine algae to bear on the quest to reassemble Illumina Starborn. And then
that sounds fantastic.
Cool. And then belief 2, Narash distrusts anything approaching a monopoly or monolith business, and Songshore Enterprises reminds him unpleasantly of the Empire. For good reason, ? He will attempt to learn more about the lab that Samuel mentioned and see if he can devise a way to get to visit it.
Sounds fantastic. Working for me. Nika, how's Lexa doing?
Better in a lot of ways. You know,
Romp through the soul.
Yeah, exactly.
Good for you, I guess.
Are we? Oh, so wait, sorry.
Level
belief first or level first? Okay.
Yeah.
So basically all. So Celexa took her 9th level in Bard.
Okay.
Which basically just she got 5th level spells.
Okay.
And it's also kind of a, after the last whatever 5 or 6 episodes, it's kind of a big jump for her as well, because she barely even got to use 4th level. I think she used Dimension Door once, and that's the only 4th level spell she's used.
Wow.
So as far as I can remember, so
yeah. Nothing came up during the color creature thing, or just Dimension Door.
I think she was. I think that she didn't have any of her high level spell slots because of being cursed.
Yeah, that happens.
She basically has been like a.
This is a huge leap for her.
Effectively, like a 3rd or maybe 5th level bard for like ever, yeah, huge leap for her. And one of the things that I'm trying to figure out is what 5th level spells she should have. And one of the I've got one in place as like the one that I gain normally. But then I'm also going to trade out an earlier spell for another 5th level spell. And the 2 that I'm thinking about would be like a classic, like Dominate Person, which would be a classic choice for a bard / spy. And I think definitely work with, be in Celexa's wheelhouse. But also given all this stuff that's going on right now, she's thinking about she might want to take Teleportation Circle.
Ooh.
And which would kind of like I don't know, change the paradigm a little bit of what, like how the group relates to like going to different places. And so, yeah, I'm not sure if it seems like we're going to travel, like we're ready to travel right away. That might be something that makes sense for her to take.
Yeah, I mean, I think both are very, very cool spells, obviously, and both very, very different. And yes, as we discussed beforehand, narratively, you can pick any point you want. You don't have to decide the second.
Okay.
And that's exciting to me.
So yeah, maybe I'll just sit on that for a few minutes and see where things lead.
Sounds good.
And then for beliefs, just a quick review. Guiding light, Celexa knows that something or someone has been jerking them around since the beginning. She'll find out who it is and what they want and make sure they don't get it. Belief 1. Celexa is torn between gratitude and a sense of shame after so much effort went into saving her, but in a way that violated her pride and privacy. If an opportunity presents itself, she will talk to the party about Recha and the Grand Accord as a way to shed some of her burden. So I kind of love how this is dovetailing with Thea and also Narash.
Then,
I'm curious to see who's going to draw first.
Who's going to draw first? Let's see what happens.
And belief 2, far from being ready to relax, the revelations from the library fill Celexa with a renewed sense of urgency. To her, tracking the pieces of Illumina is the first priority, but whatever their goal, she will call on the party to move into action right away.
I love it. I'm excited, and I love it. Excellent. And last but certainly not least, Winona. How's Nova doing?
All right. I kind of forgot that I could take a feat instead of a ability level increase, so I'm thinking about feats instead, and I'm not ready. But I will be ready at some point, and then I'll tell you.
Sounds good to me. I'm totally okay with that. I'm not panicked or worried.
No. I might I don't know. I might try to diversify Nova. I had kind of considered multi-classing, but I haven't seen anything that looks like it would make a big difference yet. So
Ironically, usually the biggest difference that people talk about for low level impact is 2 levels of fighter, which you obviously already have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I looked at Barbarian, and that just didn't look like it would help that much.
It doesn't really support Nova that much. I mean, maybe. Let me. Do you mind if I take a look? What is Nova's stat allocation right now? I'm just curious, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go for it.
Take a look at things. Yeah. It's interesting because Nova's so good at like research and things like that because of her choices as a battle master. That my first instinct was like, oh, maybe there's like a caster that you could multi-class into that gets like a cool first level ability, but the stats aren't quite there to reflect that, unfortunately. Though maybe we can manipulate something around a little bit if we need to.
Well, but also if you were going to take ability scoring increases, you could bump something up to 13 pretty easily.
Yeah, all of your abilities are 12. So if you look and see like, yeah, Peace Domain Cleric or something like that, if you want to be, that person. I don't know if that's appropriate. That was just a word that popped out.
Oh yeah, Nova totally strikes me as like a peace cleric for sure. Yeah. She wants more than anything is to keep people from fighting.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I'm at. So, but you can certainly look at things like that and think about how to progress and how to move. I'm excited to see whatever you do. So we'll have fun doing that, and let's check in on your beliefs.
Yeah. So my guiding light is the same. Although I considered changing it based off of my belief 1, because my belief 1 almost turned into a guiding light. But my guiding light is still inspired by her great-grandfather's heroic deeds during the rebellion. Nova will throw herself into danger to protect her friends and family. Her belief 1 started getting kind of heavy. Nova is overwhelmed by all of the things threatening her world. She knows a united world is a strong world, and the Grand Accord is the key. To strengthen the Grand Accord, she will begin to bring back Illumina Starborn by getting the first part at the auction.
Wow. Well, that's a powerful and evocative and effective belief. I'm excited.
Yeah, multi-part. And then belief 2, Nova is still excited to be back on her home turf. Despite not being very familiar with Uxie at all, Nova will share everything she knows about Prime.
Sounds good. Sounds very, very good. Excellent. Wow. Okay. Well, we ended our last episode leaving the library and going to a spa. If I remember correctly, I think that Thea was like, we need to relax, and did some research into good travel spots, and did pretty well, and found a good travel spot that is, shall we say, very good because of its price. So this is definitely like the type of place where you are being heavily pampered and everyone is taking care of you. Everyone who wants one gets a massage, mani-pedis, really whatever you're looking for. They're gonna take care of you here. And at the end of this very highly ritualized 2-hour session is a chance to sit in a steam room for about half an hour or so, and all of you are there. Also, because of the quality of this, everyone is going to get 11 temporary hit points.
That'll be useful against the steam elementals.
Steam elemental ambush. You thought it was a spot. No, sorry. So I see so let's see, the 5 of you end up in there. I imagine you all arrived at roughly the same time, and so I imagine that you all are sort of finishing up at roughly the same time. How are people reacting to the spa treatment? I'm just curious, like, who is getting really into it and who is like, this is uncomfortable, I feel awkward, like the 2 of you are very uncomfortable. Is that yeah, okay, I love it. That's beautiful. What does that look like, Timothy, when you're awkward?
I mean, let's be honest, it's probably just normal. But Timothy's probably, like during the manicure, like, oh no, oh no, you don't need to do that. Oh no, that's my favorite callus.
That's my favorite callus. That's my page-turning callus. No, sorry. Or my fishing callus, one of the two. Yeah. And what about you, Nova?
I think Nova's just too worried to be able to relax. Like she just read through all of the gossip magazines, and now she knows everything that's wrong with the world.
Yeah. And so like there's just these knots of tension, and your masseuse is like, get out of there. Oh, just trying, and like the masseuse like leaves the massage looking like beaten and exhausted. We just see them open the door, and Nova's like this wall of knots, and masseuse is just like, and just starts walking away. It's nothing can fix this person. What about you, Narash? What goes on for your little experience?
Well, I think getting to be moist for a little while is really nice. I think I enjoyed my massage, but I think my masseuse or masseur was very off-put by the fact that as they were rubbing my back, there was a little skin lump that kept moving around.
Yeah, of course.
And it was very, in addition to getting around the manticore tail, which probably there was a couple of little punctures, it was much better experience for me than for them.
Absolutely, yeah. They also have all these, you would immediately notice that they've got all these interesting aromatic stones, and like it's actually mostly sea life or sorry, river life, but types of like sort of like an expansion of coral that grows in the Uxia River, and they use it to sort of create these aromatic fragrances as to embody sort of the place. It kind of reminds you a little bit of home.
Is that maybe part of the reason we got the temporary hit points? I'm actually asking it in character, using my medicine knowledge.
Yeah, roll a medicine check. It's the whole thing. It's being pampered. It's being treated nicely. It's definitely some of the herbs and things like that they're using. But on their own, no, it would take like ritualizations and things like that to really pop it up to the next degree. And then Thea, what about you?
I think Thea's really kind of leaning into this whole massage thing. I think she's kind of starting to get used to having money and like being able to spend it, and just being able to pamper a little bit. So she's really leaning in, just like another pedicure, and they're like, you already got one. Just do it another layer. Yeah,
of course. Yeah. I love it. Yeah. Do you think that like Thea growing up saw like pampered people, and how did Thea react to that versus now?
Well, I think she definitely had some tough feelings about it growing up. Like it was things she never thought she could have, and maybe she's leaning in now a bit in spite of that. Like, like now I can have that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And of course, Alexa, how are you doing?
Alexa crawls onto the massage table, and her masseuse or masseur comes in and finds her passed out asleep. And I think they just like stand there and staring for a moment. Like usually it takes at least 10 minutes for somebody to fall asleep during a massage. But they just kind of like shrug and like make sure the blanket is kind of covering her, and then go and like leave her alone. So I think when she like stumbles into the steam room, she looks dazed and disoriented.
Okay. So you all find yourselves in a steam room. It's Let's see, probably 25 by 15, and there's these large wooden seats that also double as like two large steps. And it's really the five of you in there, and that's it right now.
Matt, is this one of the businesses that is owned by Songshore Enterprises?
Yes, it is.
So, why don't we discuss our next step?
Did you guys know that there's a zombie army heading towards us in the north?
You all worry too much. It's so nice right here. Can we just relax?
No!
Zombie army? That doesn't seem... That's strange. I don't know. Gosh, this world... Anyone want to just, like, go to a different planet?
It seems like we've got our... There's enough to do here on this one. Nova, what's this zombie army? Like, what did you find out?
Okay, so hear me out. I was reading gossip magazines, and I found out that there's this zombie army that's heading towards us right now, and no one's taking it seriously.
I would just want to say that while we're here, I think we have more pressing concerns. I mean, a zombie army, very pressing indeed. But we're here, and we've just learned quite a bit about Songshore Enterprises. And I know, and at this point, I'm going to let my little snaky friend slither out of the tip of my fingers and take shape into his original bizarre, flat, snaky form. And I said, this is my new friend, Rasha. And I met him when I visited Samo after taking the citrine algae. And amongst the many things that we all learned there was that there's a lab that is doing Shadra's bidding, owned by Songshore Enterprises here in Uxietal. And now that we know also about this gem that's for sale, I wonder if we shouldn't do some investigation.
So Rasha just sort of raises their flat and inky form and just sort of nods at you all like a friendly little sock puppet.
Wait, what gem for sale? What are you talking about?
Oh, did we discuss this? I guess I was kind of assuming that we might have discussed on our as we met in the library.
Yeah, yes. You know, speaking of bidding, like you said, we do need to get to that auction where there will be bidding on the gem that we have been talking about, you know, extensively.
Oh, I think maybe
Celexa wasn't there.
Maybe you guys were talking about it without me, but it must be. This is a gem that has like a connection to Illumina. I think that, you know, if we know where another piece of her is, we should go there. That seems like, you know, but the most important thing right now is that without the Grand Accord, like there can't be peace anywhere, and without her, it seems like the Grand Accord is kind of lost right now.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
I'm on board
I also
now too.
I actually I think that maybe there's something that you folks should know also, which is that I have been doing my best to help the Grand Accord for a while. I mean, we all have, but I actually swore an allegiance to them when we were there.
I knew it. Sorry, Alexa. While we were in your soul, I saw this happen. I saw your memory of this.
But you were like snooping around?
I wasn't snooping, it just appeared in front of me.
I think we all, shall we say, learned a few things about you that we hadn't intended to.
You mean just like out of nowhere?
Well, not out of nowhere, out of fighting whatever that creature was inside you, the Rakshasa.
I mean, you think the Rakshasa knew also that I was helping the Grand Accord?
Yeah, that would have been a good question to ask.
But really, it just appeared in front of you. You weren't like looking for it or anything.
We were not digging around. We were being very respectful while stabbing things inside of your soul. But we don't need to get into it. You know, we can just pretend we didn't see anything if you'd like.
Can I ask a question here as an offworlder, not to jump in on this emotional moment, but I know for myself, I'm all about fighting the Empire. The Grand Accord seems to be one of the strongest, or at least at one time, one of the strongest allied groups that was doing that. Is there a particular reason why it should be surprising that you allied with the Grand Accord, or why others shouldn't?
I think that when we first sort of got together and met, we didn't know each other very well, and you know, we all we really had in common was that we had been summoned to go to the Kva together, and I don't know. Many of us hadn't seen all that we've seen now, and maybe didn't know that the Grand Accord was serving such an important purpose. I don't want to speak for others, but when I joined, I maybe didn't really know everything that I was getting into, and I felt like I wasn't sure if I could trust everybody with the information. So I have a contact there who I've been keeping in touch with, and the contact is that's how I met Marco.
It's that Rachel lady, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's
Rachel.
not I guess it didn't come. That didn't come from me.
Oh, well, that's good then. That's good. We can cross her off the list of people who are trying to kill us and send things after us. Well, that's comforting.
I genuinely don't know if she expects me to be alive right now. The last time. So yeah. I don't know. I'll talk to her, and I will let her know that you know, which I think is for the best. But she might be able to help, and I feel like if we can learn more about Illumina, then the Grand Accord deserves to know as well.
Not to get ahead of ourselves, but with Illumina back, if we were able to do that, which is a large goal, we could, like you said, strengthen the Grand Accord, which could in turn stop this ridiculous war that's going on and even unite the world's forces against this army of undead? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, long-term goals, I guess.
There a reason why we don't simply announce ourselves as allied with the Grand Accord, where then we could each bring our resources to bear and have all the resources available that they have of knowledge and personnel, like Marco?
Well, not everybody in the Shimmering Seas. I know that you haven't been here for this long, but not everybody in the Shimmering Seas supports the Grand Accord, and the more that we are known as its agents, the more doors we might find closed to us, and the more we might find ourselves pursued.
Also, the Grand Accord might not be super happy with us. Like, I feel like we've done some stuff that maybe has messed things up for them.
Like what?
Like, I don't know, giving the control of the king to the pirate queen and, the Primarch guy. And I don't know, we've been cohorting with aliens, and I don't know, they might not be super happy for us to join.
You might also ask Kat about it too. I think he knows that as important as the Grand Accord might be, they're not all powerful or all knowing, and it's not necessarily in our best interests to wave a flag as we walk down the street.
So we should kind of keep our cards close to our chest and collect as many allies as we can from different sides.
Kind of like we have been doing, right?
Yeah, just keep doing what we've been doing.
Because we've made so many friends along the way.
Isn't that what really matters?
No.
And Timothy, to your point about bringing Illumina back, who knows if that's really even possible? Like, I don't even know why it feels so important to be going after these, pieces. And even if we get them all, who knows if she can really come back, or if she can, if that will really help. For some reason, it feels important. It feels like I don't know. I just have a feeling like if we don't find those things, that things will just keep getting worse.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like a lot of us are in. Next step, going to the auction house, maybe doing some snooping around. It sounds like Narash, you're in definitely.
I am. And Matt, can I ask a question out of character? I think that my character knows this, but I've forgotten. Is the lab that with the Citrine algae separate from the factory, separate from wherever this auction will take place?
The auction is in a separate location. The lab and the factory are not super separate. They're separate in the sense that they're adjacent buildings.
So returning to character. So yes, I'm in, but I have a question. What is our position in terms of the city officials, Songshore Enterprise? I'm Chandra's sister. I don't know if that puts us in any danger, and I don't know if anybody here knows or recognizes us. Do we know that?
Have we seen wanted posters here?
Nope.
Are you this auction? Is it here in Ixotal? Yes. Do we? I wonder if if we would need disguises here, or if we're strangers enough that nobody will notice anyways.
I mean, let's see. From what you guys have seen, it's a big, bustling city. It's not that it's impossible that someone could recognize you or something like that, but it's certainly, this is one of the major metropolises. It's a little bit like being in, in Chicago or Cairo or something like that. It's not that it's impossible for someone to recognize you, but it's a big area, right? And lots of population here.
What do we know about this auction? When is it happening?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Well, that's convenient.
And we know that one of the big players is going to be a certain pirate queen.
Oh, is that who the Madame of the Illustrious Sea is?
We expect her to be there.
Yes, or some representative for her, but I assume she likes to get up to her mischief in person, it seems.
But a different pirate queen, we think, or not?
Fake name.
That's an interesting question. We don't know if this is Oceana or not, huh?
I assumed it was the same. I mean, for what I know, I only know of one pirate queen.
Well, if it is her, then we might want those disguises.
That's a good point.
Well, even if we're disguised, what will be our strategy? Will we try to outbid her? Or is there something else in mind here?
I think we should steal it.
Now, you didn't hear this from me, but we might borrow, assuming this is her, we might borrow a page from her playbook. And if she were to get the gem, she could be persuaded to give it to us. If she were cursed, maybe? Or led to believe that she were cursed. I mean, lying doesn't hurt anyone. I just spitballing.
I have spells that could bring her under our control for a while, but of course, that doesn't always work out well when they wear off.
I personally don't want to be on the bad end of the pirate queen again. Just saying. I think we should steal it before it gets to the auction.
I agree. I think that would be maybe the most straightforward way to go about it.
Also, do we even have enough money to outbid her?
I doubt it.
Yeah, she has a whole Peleagic empire at her fingertips. So,
can I just clarify something? I'm sorry. I remember from your research John, that you learned that there was an interested buyer, and my notes, I'm just looking here, it says the Madam of the Illustrious Sea. Was there a mention of her being a pirate queen?
No. That is a leap that John has made. Or Timothy. One or the other.
Huh. Is it really? I'm sorry then, everyone.
No worries.
But you know what? Timothy's going to lean into it. He is nothing if not stubborn and confident. No, I'm telling you, this will be her. She will be here, and we need to be prepared.
Well, maybe the first step is to investigate where the gem is going to be kept. Maybe along the way, find a little bit more about Songshore Enterprises. Do I know anything about Herbert Songshore? I don't think I really do, but let me just ask, who knows about Herbert Songshore?
He's rich.
Hubert Songshore. I feel like that goes along with Narash's old...
Yeah, of course, it's perfect. Doesn't seem like we know a lot about Hubert Songshore. Interesting.
Let's go be tourists and check out the factory.
Oh! I can help. I know all about Prion.
Have you ever been to this part of Prion?
I mean, no, but I know a lot about Prion.
Very well.
All right, let's go.
Okay, so you finish up your massages and all the good stuff there, and start making your way across Prion. Nova, why don't you tell us a little bit about what this looks like as you guide everyone around Prion and give someone some sightseeing and touring?
Well, you can see here that. Have you noticed that all of the architecture is like domes? And that has some kind of significance. And have you noticed that there's a lot of sand in Prion? And that it's really hot? It's been like this for a long time. Also, there's like people selling food and stuff. That one's really good. That one's not really
good. Okay. So, with this awesome tour, you guys make it across. Actually, let's narratively pump this up a little bit. Can you roll a history check for me, Nova?
Okay.
To find out if that food really is that good.
No, that would be a Constitution saving throw. Yeah, that's about the quality of the tour that you get. And yeah, it's Nova's entertaining them. And so you make it across town towards the factory. This is one of Hubert Songshore's places, and lots of people seem to be working here. It's a pretty happening place. They seem to be not producing anything, but rather moving things from one place to another. Is what's going on in this factory. Calling it a factory might even be a misnomer. It's more of a warehouse. Though it is labeled Songshore Enterprises Factory. And yeah, that's where it is. What's the plan here?
I mean, I guess I suggested originally is to, one, learn more about the business, and maybe Hubert Songshore, and two, with the assumption maybe it was wrong that we could somehow find out about the gemstone by asking around about the coming auction.
I think that's certainly theoretically possible. So let's see, this part of town, it's sort of like it's not an outer part of town. But it's not the most crowded. A lot of the sort of shops in the region are slightly lower quality, not like bad, but just like lower middle class, we'd say. And lots of tasty foods though. I think you guys arrived there just as people are starting to get off work. It's early evening, and people are clocking out and starting to leave. So you see a bunch of day workers leaving. the factory, and yeah, so the streets are suddenly like sort of flooded with people as 5 o'clock rolls around. The factory is this large, huge building on one side of the street. On the other side of the street, there's it looks like an administrative office and a couple other things. Hubert Songshore seems to own this whole block, though, or everything around here. Yeah.
Is there like a specific dress code that they're all following?
No, but they're pretty. They all look very like Prian standard. Yeah, lots of breathability in the clothing.
Well, we could knock on the front door. That's an option. Someone say something better.
I know at least one of us can turn into a tiny creature.
And actually, and I pull out Rasha, and Rasha turns into a little gray mouse. I say, I probably wouldn't have to now. And I put Rasha down on the ground, and I'm going to send them into the factory just for a quick peek around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, why don't you roll a perception check as you look through? Yeah, why don't you just roll a perception check for me?
23.
Nice, gotta love it. Yeah. So Rasha sneaks in to the factory as a little gray mouse, and then sneaks right back out. Not in there for that long, but they sort of look around, and they come towards you, and they sort of glance. Their little mouse head seems to sort of glance around and see if there's anyone who's noticing anything up or down the street. And when the answer to them seems to be no, suddenly Rasha seems to melt into a pool, and inside it you see an image of the interior of the factory. You see a couple of people. There's someone sitting at a desk. But mostly you just see stacks upon stacks upon stacks of rows upon rows upon rows of stuff, and huge, huge, huge numbers of boxes.
Do the rest of them see that image in the pool as well?
Yep.
I'm going to say, I didn't know they could do that. And I'll say, oh, wonderful. And I go over and dip a toe into Rasha and absorb them back up into my skin.
Okay, I think Slexa is going to take the. She's going to take on the appearance of a like. I guess she's actually going to assume like one of her sort of elf forms, but kind of like sort of richly dressed, and all business, and she's also going to cast enhanceability on her charisma.
Okay.
And she is going to knock loudly on the door.
The door to the factory or the door to the offices?
The door to the... Wait, so we're outside the factory or outside the offices right now?
The factory's on one side of the street, the offices are on the other side.
Oh, okay, gotcha. And you guys were... there were people inside the factory, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a couple of them.
Wait, so... Okay, then, guys, where... Do we want to look in the offices, or do we want to look in the factory?
I think the offices.
If we look in the offices, maybe we can find out where the thing is being stored, the gem thing.
Or you could pretend, since you're in business livery, to be somebody who wants to bid on it.
Oh, okay. So, but then, what would you folks be doing here?
I'm assuming that the way we're dressed would not look like an attendant to this elven.
No, you look like adventurers.
Well, I could have Rasha follow you in as well. I don't know how dangerous that would be in terms of potentially blowing your cover. But they would just look like a mouse.
Well, I suppose maybe I can go in and have a little conversation, and you folks can, as you like, either sneak into either office or factory to find out what you can find. But I actually, I'm wondering if Timothy, would you accompany me as my advisor and assistant?
Yes, sure.
I mean, after that spa treatment and pedicure, you look practically presentable. So
I'll take that as a compliment.
And Celexa is she'll like spin him around for a moment. She'll prestidigitate some of the stains off of his cloak and stuff, and kind of give a little wipe some stuff off of his cheek and be like, all right, yeah, okay, you look fine.
The joke's on
you.
you.
A little bit like fish.
The joke's on you. There are more stains inside the pockets.
So she's gonna turn to Nova and Narash and Thea and go, shh, go, get out here, do your thing, yeah. And then she's gonna turn around and she's gonna knock on the office door.
Yeah. A little slot opens in the door about halfway down, and you see just two big eyes sort of look up at you, and then the slot closes and the door opens, and a little goblin lady looks up at you and she says, "Greetings. How can I be of assistance?"
Celexa is going to walk right past her into the hallway, and she's going to say, "Hi, yes, thank you so much for making time for us. I am here for the auction, and I'm sure you're expecting me. This here is my valet and assistant, Rodrigo, and we will be taking your the first available seat at the auction. Can you please direct us into the appropriate place?" It's starting now.
Sorry, madam. I believe you are confused. It is, the auction will be taking place, tomorrow, actually. You're speaking of the one for the gem? You're a day early. Also, it will be at the auction house, not here in the offices. How did you... Yes. Sorry. Hi. How can I help? I want to be of the best assistance that I possibly can. Customer service is our motto. So,
how can I get assistance? Yes. Pleased to make your acquaintance. I am.
Cora. Sorry if you're
Cora. Hi. Pleased to make your acquaintance. I'm. You may call me Lady Amara. And this, as I said, is my valet, Rodrigo. And we are, since we are here, perhaps you would be so kind as to give us a brief tour of your operation, just so that we can have some confidence in the organization that we're doing business with. Where I come from, in Sunera, as I'm sure you have heard, we have a reputation for hospitality, and I would expect no less from such a place as this.
Yeah, you can see her struggling, like, I don't think I've heard of you. Roll a deception check, though.
Okay.
Of course, at advantage because of your...
Sure.
I'm not close enough to use guidance at this point, I would imagine.
No.
I'm sorry, deception check. So 23.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she looks at you and she says, well, of course, Lady Almara, of course, allow me to, well, why don't you come with me? Please, pardon any mess that you see if you can. I apologize. And she turns and she starts walking down a hallway, and she opens a door to an office, and sort of gestures inside and says, if you can wait here for a minute, I'm gonna get my superior to help you. Can I get you anything to drink? We've got local coffees and uh, Songshore wine is reputed to be some of the best in the world.
Um, well, I suppose I highly doubt that it will be quite the vintages to which I'm accustomed. But if you must impose some of your wine on me, I will reluctantly accept.
I promise you that it will be most satisfying. And yes, pardon me while I go fetch someone. And she closes the door behind you guys, and you hear like feet scuffling in the hallway, just the quick patter of someone like running down the hallway, and you start hearing muffled voices from like down the hall.
What? My intention would have been for Kumi to be following her.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'll also say that she's put you in her office, which is filled with papers and all sorts of chaos and clutter. When she says pardon for the clutter, like this actually is a clutter that you kind of do need a pardon for. But that would be another piece of paper, and that would not be a good thing for this mess. Yeah. So Kumi follows, invisible, and yeah, you see her like open the door to another office, and she starts talking to someone. The person behind the office is a halfling, and like in good shape, and he just sort of speaks. And as he says, she's like, "There's someone lady here. She's here for the auction, but she's like demanding and whatever." And he looks and says, "Well, can you deal with it?" And I don't know. I get really uncomfortable around nobility, and she's really intimidating, and like, I mean, I know that like, whatever. Yes, I will handle this for you, Cora. Of course, don't feel any stress. Why don't you get them a couple glasses of wine and inform them that I'll be there shortly? Oh, okay. Yeah, I can do that much at least. Thank you. Yes, of course. He finishes up. He turns to finish up some paperwork, and again you hear the footsteps as Cora starts running around. And does Kumi stick with her? Does Kumi stick with the other guy? Does Kumi hang out in his office?
I think that Kumi is going to start kind of like poking around on his own. So Slexa's been she's been looking through his eyes, but knowing that somebody's coming, she has to like return to her body, basically.
Perfect.
So Kumi's gonna start just kind of exploring, probably around the office first, and sort of like poking around and seeing what he can find. But Slexa's not gonna know about that for a while.
Perfect.
And in the meantime, I don't know, like she's got Timothy. Celexa has like gone away for a minute or so, in terms of like vacant expression.
So Timothy, what are you doing in the office while Slexa's like zoning out?
I think Timothy is thinking to himself, I'm doing a pretty good job of selling this. If I don't talk, we'll be fine.
If I don't talk, I'll be fine. Famous last words. I love it. Okay. The door opens and Cora returns with 2 glasses of wines, and she says, so just you're going to be getting a tour from one of the head honchos here at the company. His name is Humphrey, and he's actually Hubert Songshore's eldest son. And he is going to take good care of you, and he'll answer any of your questions, and he'll make you, Lady Elmara, feel as comfortable as you possibly could during an event like this, and make you as excited as possible to participate in the auction of the wonderful items that we have tomorrow.
Well, I am glad to hear that Mr.
Humphrey Songshore.
Mr. Songshore is making time for as an important customer, and it's as I said, the hospitality that I would hope for, but not necessarily expect. So thank you so much. And she grabs a glass of wine, and she just kind of like gives a little shoo 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 motion. We will be awaiting him in the hallway as soon as he is ready.
Oh, he'll right. Yeah, and she just sort of doesn't want to, like, is too nervous to, and like gets shooed out of her own office. Meanwhile, outside, we have Nova and Thea and Narash. These two have gone into the office building to just sort of poke around there a little bit, get a tour. What are the three of you guys doing? Are you waiting patiently, or are you like, well, this is our chance to go sneak into a different place, or what's going on?
I think we should sneak into the factory.
What is the entrance to the factory? Are there still people pouring out at the end of the day? Is the door still wide open?
Yeah, the doors are open. It's not closed up yet. There's still people coming out. There's a little bit of wiggle room. People tend to be leaving. It's not all at once, although it's pretty heavily at once. But it's the end of the workday, so people are leaving, and some of the stragglers are leaving. You see someone like stumble out and like, wait, guys, wait for me, and like trying to get their arm through a jacket, and while they're trying to do that, they realize, they look down, they realize that they put both their legs through one side of their pants, and that's why they're having trouble moving, and they fall over, and then like try and straighten everything out.
Things are slipping at Songshore Enterprise. Well, I'm gonna say, Nova, let's you and I try to get a job, and then Thea, maybe you can look around a little bit more. So I'm gonna wander over to the entrance, and maybe I'll like talk to the clumsy person who just came out, if they are not in too big of a hurry.
Yeah, looks up at you. Oh, sorry, am I in your way? Oops. And like starts trying to fix their pants without taking off their pants, which is not easy.
No, I'll not make eye contact for seconds. So there's a little bit of embarrassment is avoided. And I say, I was just curious to speak to someone who works here. Passing through and hear that Songshore Enterprises is a great place to work.
Yeah, you want to talk to Foreman Mick? He'll be inside. Yeah. Yeah, just head on in, talk to him, tell him that Timo sent you, I guess.
Thank you, and good luck. And so then I, look at my companion and said, let's head in the door.
So the three of you head on in, and there's people milling about and talking still. A couple of conversations still going on, and there's a desk where people seem to be like turning in time cards or something like that. And there's a guy sitting behind the desk. He's got a little name tag that says Mick, M-I-C.
Well, let's walk up and say, "Hi, Mick. Timo sent us."
That idiot.
Lacks a little coordination.
Yeah.
We were just passing through town and heard great things about Songshore Enterprises as an employer. I just wanted to ask about openings or what goes on here.
What skills do you have?
Well, maybe not the strongest, although my friend here is very much so. But I actually have a lot of old family experience in chemistry and potion making and combining, various natural elements to make other ones. And I understood that there was some sort of lab.
Yeah, I'm not in charge of the science recruit people. We've got some head honcho lady, weird person, in charge of that whole shebang. And he looks at Nova and he says, "That's a big sword."
Yeah, isn't it good?
Yeah. Do you mostly do carrying, or do you also do adventuring?
Oh, I do all the adventuring, but also I can carry stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we've got adventurers. We've got lots of posts for adventurers, going through tombs and slaying monsters and bringing back loot. Uh, Lots of posts for that. The Emperor is funding some expeditions into various tombs.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, yeah. A little bit of travel, and the agreement that you're signing ain't the best, but you get paid pretty well. And he reaches down and pulls something out, offers it to you, sort of glances at the and says, "You too." You're sorry, you don't look like obviously an adventurer, but you might be. He says, talking to Thea.
Oh. Yeah, I also adventure.
Okay, I saw the dagger and thought maybe, but hard to tell. Hands you a form as well. Science dude.
That's me.
Yeah. I'll I don't know if they're here now, but I'll put in a request for you if you want to meet someone from the lab to see if that's a job for you.
Sure.
Can you come back tomorrow morning at 7:30?
Sure. Who was the head honcho? Just wondering if I've heard of this person.
I don't know her name. She's kind of new. Some lizard folk lady from somewhere else.
But I wouldn't be meeting her tomorrow, right?
No, probably not. She doesn't require. She doesn't hire the new recruits.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I hope to meet her sometime. But whoever you could set me up with tomorrow would be great.
Sure. Yeah, no problem. But I'll let them know that there's someone. What's your name?
Oh, my name is Sharon.
Sharon. Okay, cool. Yeah. I'll let them know that to expect a Sharon. Yeah, if you're here 7:30 tomorrow, then I'll take you over to where the lab is set up. It's across the street, inside the office building, or rather underneath the office buildings. But yeah, we'll get you set up.
Thank you.
And we'll cut there as the door opens to the office and across the street, and a halfling that is, let's see, very well dressed, but in that sort of casual way where like the top button's undone and everything's just a little bit too slick. This is someone who's very, very confident. Just like strolls confidently into the room and looks at you and says, "Lady Elmara, yes?"
Oh, well, it is. It is heartening to finally meet somebody of class in this town. Thank you so much for making time for me and my my ballet today.
Of course. He like doesn't even glance at Rodrigo the valet. He just holds out his hand for you.
Oh, yes, so nice to.
Little too long.
Gross. Yeah. So, oh, sorry. Minor point of order. I think that while we were waiting, Celexa would like to give Rodrigo a word of encouragement and tell him, "You're doing great. Just keep it up," and pass him a inspiration.
Bardic inspiration.
Yeah,
I love it. That's great.
Well, we would like to just have a quick look around to see, if you don't mind, the highlights of what I have heard to be an impeccably run organization.
Of course, my father, Hubert Songshore, runs a tight ship, and I can promise you that that this place will pass muster. Tell me, you're here for the auction tomorrow? Is that the that's I heard that correctly?
Yes, indeed. I have it on good authority that there is to be an auction for a quite rare and exciting bit of history, and I've heard that there's really not a lot of strong interest. Not many folks around to bid for it. I don't know. Is that true? I mean, I'm showing up either way. It can only, I'm prepared to outbid everybody, but
well, it'll be fun to see what we can get from them. But no, we've had a little bit of interest. It's we've got some standard typical stuff that we auction off as well. Successful finds from various tombs around the place that have recently been unearthed that we've been. My father is very interested in doing what the Emperor of Prion so wisely wants, and so absolutely is supporting his endeavors to help uncover some of our history. And when the Empire is satisfied with what it wants from these things, then we can auction off some of the goodies that we find, statues and scrolls and old artifacts, some magical items of various sorts. But the gem you're speaking of, that's an interesting one. We have that's a new thing. It's true, not many people are as interested in that. Most people are coming for the artifacts that'll be at this auction. But this gem has some interested buyers, which is intriguing. We'll certainly see how it goes.
I have to admit, I have heard from I've heard rumors that a certain lady with maritime associations has been might be coming to bid on it, but I can't imagine that would be true. I mean, I wouldn't expect her to be coming out here to bid on such an item. I'm assuming that's just hearsay and rumors.
That's interesting. I don't entirely know who you are speaking about.
Oh, surely you know the Madam of the Illustrious Sea.
Oh, of course. Yes, she's an old friend of my father's.
Oh, is it so? Is it true though? I mean, like I said, I wouldn't have expected her to be bidding on this.
I can't imagine why you would think that. It's very much in her wheelhouse. She collects statues and artifacts and works of art of various sorts.
Well, I mean, as everybody knows, of course. But just with her busy schedule, I would not. I wasn't expecting her to be here for such a minor acquisition.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, I believe she's coming herself. It's significant enough for her to make her way up here from her abode down south. But no, I would imagine that she'll be here. She is a party occasionally, but I can't imagine anything more than that would keep her that busy.
Oh well, in that case, my goodness, well, color me surprised, and perhaps I'll have to pay her a visit at her usual place near the center of the capital. So I'll make sure to
roll a deduction check.
Yeah. 28.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so he's like, yes. I don't. She'll be staying at the townhouse outside. Not. I know she sometimes stays in the. Um, she sometimes stays in the hotel, Songshore Enterprises Hotel, but
Yes,
no,
yes.
she's staying at the property she recently purchased.
Oh my goodness. Well, that is that makes entirely makes sense. And I have to admit, I had forgotten the news that she had made that acquisition. So I will.
How do you know? How do you know her?
Well, coming from the aristocracy of Sunera, we all travel in the same circles, and I have to admit, my family has uh, we've come up against her in auction more than once. It won't be the first time. So I would like to think of us as as the upper classes sometimes like to say frenemies.
Well, I'm surprised that we haven't gotten to know each other before here. I guess it is true that my father is sort of new to the auction game, but still, I would expect to have bumped into you at some point or other. Nonetheless, so here, and he flicks on the light in this room. He's been guiding you to a room, and as he flicks on a light, you see that like there are just rows of pedestals with space between them, and on each pedestal is an item inside of a glass box of some sort. And these are the items that we have for auction. Hold on one second. And he turns and he walks to the side and places his palm on a panel in the wall, and then waits for a second, and then takes his palm off, and then sort of just seems to stare at it for a second, and then nods and comes back and says, "So these are all the items that we have for auction tomorrow. You can take a look as you see fit."
Is there anything like what's I don't need an item breakdown. What's the gist of the kinds of things?
Yeah. I mean, he's not wrong. The vast majority of this is acquisitions from Prime Tombs that Hubert Longshore Enterprises has been. It's not the only group, but like the Prime government has been supporting and funding expeditions into tombs to find items of various sorts. Most of these things are like would be of historical significance. Most of them aren't going to be like that useful to an adventurer unless one is trying to piece together histories and things like that. A lot of things that will be significant to like Prian history more than anything else. But from your perspective, can you roll or can either you or Timothy roll an investigation check? I'm just curious.
I'll let Timothy take this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with a 17, Timothy, couple of things stand out to you. One of them is a scroll casing that seems to have a magic spell in it of some sort, probably some sort of lost or forgotten or forbidden magic inside of it. And glancing at the scroll casing, you find it very interesting because there are tiny needles sticking out of it in all directions, to a degree that it would be very difficult to pick this up without pricking yourself. Like incredibly difficult to pick this up without pricking yourself with a needle, and that sort of stands out. And then you see the gem. It's sort of in a prominent place at the end of this little hallway. And I think those are the two big items that you notice.
So Alexa is going to try and take a little bit of a closer look at she's gonna gradually look at everything and then kind of make her way over to the gem and take a closer peek.
Humphrey Songshore, Hubert's son, is schmoozing with you the whole time. It's definitely like he's doing that thing where like he knows that you're here for the gem, but he's trying to sell you on other things so you'll bid on other things too.
Sure.
And I think why don't you roll an insight check for me? This is no failure here, but
16.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would even say that from your expert opinion of manipulating people, he's pretty darn good at it. He seems really good at like sort of getting you to do various things. So you guys are making your way through this, and you're heading towards the gem. Timothy, as you guys are getting close to the gem, with your investigation check from before, you notice that there is a pedestal that is missing from this room. Like, the rows are perfectly even, but one of them, like, there's just a pedestal that is missing. And they sort of, like, slightly adjusted to make it look, but you just look at the ground and notice that, like, oh, someone moved a pedestal and there's no dust there or whatever. In a way that sort of stands out to you.
Ma'am, it would appear that they are keeping the best for last, or keeping something from you, which is absurd.
Celexa looks startled and offended.
No, sorry, it's no, we would never be. It's not a my father. It's from my father's personal collection. He's decided he doesn't want to auction it off.
Well, that's perfectly understandable. I'm sure that his private collection must, such an ingenious and resourceful man, and such a, as I've heard, a loyal servant of the empire, must have a private collection that of truly extraordinary dimensions. So, if I were in his position, I would keep the best for myself as well.
Truth be told, I don't really know what he wants with it. I honestly don't find it that impressive, but for some reason he chose to keep it. So
interesting. Surely I will have the pleasure of meeting your father. I have not, as I've not met you, I've not met him either. Surely I'll have the pleasure of meeting him tomorrow.
Yes, in fact, he plans on presiding over the auction himself.
Wow, what a singular experience that will be for all of us, I'm sure. And I think that under the circumstances, I think that we've seen quite enough. And Celexa snaps her fingers and she says, "Rodrigo, it is. I have seen enough. It is time to go." And she takes a deep bow to Humphrey, and she says, "I will be escorted to the exit of the office now."
Of course. And again, might I say that it's a pleasure to have met you. And I'm looking forward to seeing you at the auction tomorrow at the auction house in town. I'll make sure that your person has all the details that he needs to bring you to the correct and accurate address, since clearly he misled you this time. And I'll also make sure that he brings you there at the correct time.
Oh, what a that is very considerate. That is very considerate. Yes, I will look forward to seeing you there.
Mm-hmm. And I think as you leave this place, we will take our break and come back. Back in 10, everyone. Marcus? Oh, maybe. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Sagas of the Shimmering Sea. This is the Chosen Few. As always, I'd like to take a moment here at the top of the second part of the show to encourage you, yes, you, to think about the world that you live in and how you can best support and help it grow. This is something that I strongly believe in. The world is a difficult place to be. It's also the only place to be, and so I would think about what that means for you and how you can help actually change it for the better. It's hard. There's so many huge things that need to happen, and that's a mess, and it can feel overwhelming that we cannot engage in that. But sometimes the smallest acts can be some of the most impactful. And so if you can find a way, whoever you are, to impact someone small today, I would do it. Find an artist that you like and commission a portrait. Find a musician that you like and ask them to play a concert for you and pay them. Find something that you like and find a way to support it. Even if it's just a kind word or really just a friendly hug. Anything that you can do to help people. Also, we've got other shows on this channel. I know it's shocking, but we've got 3 shows on this channel. And they all take place in the same world, and the worlds sometimes collide and bump into each other a little bit. I've got, I think, 3 campaigns that all have some sort of issue with Hubert Songshore. So it's kind of fun that we're actually going to finally meet him. I think this is only his 2nd appearance on camera if we get there, although we may not go there. I don't know if we'll go to the auction or not. So maybe we won't. Maybe I shouldn't hype that up too much. But we've got other shows on this channel. Thursday mornings, we've got our classic dungeon crawl in the northern part of Prime. They recently, put a powerful evil psionic into the body of a Tarask, and then also their paladin, who is probably their most powerful character, just got taken over by a blood mage. And so now they've got to find a way to free their paladin. So they're having a stressful time over there, but that's Thursday mornings. And on Thursday evenings, we've got a bunch of people who are trying to overthrow a Primarch. So the Primarch of Chalestra is a fascist, and they're trying to overthrow him. And yeah, that's all going on over there. So go check out some of our other content. You can also check us out on YouTube, youtube.com, the Sagas of the Shimmering Sea, all that good stuff. And yeah, see the works. Anyway, back to it. So, I think that's going to be the end of our Celexa and Timothy investigating the offices. Although, before we go, I'd like Kumi to roll an investigation check. And while that is happening, I'm not even going to look at what it is yet, but I keep that number in mind for me. And while that is happening, I just want to check in what's going on across the street. We've got Mick the foreman, who's offering you guys jobs. He's trying to recruit 2 of you to the adventuring lifestyle. And 1 of you to the science offices. He doesn't seem interested in hiring you for carrying and lifting boxes, even though you'd be quite qualified. Even though 1 of you would be quite qualified. But nonetheless, that's what's going on there. So what is there anything else going on over there? Is there a plan? Is there a secret thing? Is Thea sneaking away to spy on boxes or something?
Well, I wonder, like, looking around, is there any, does anything seem, like, conspicuous, like, particularly weird boxes in a certain area or something like that?
No.
No, it's
I would allow you to roll if you wanted, but the answer is no.
Okay.
Yes, it's the truth of the matter is that this is a place where they package things and move things, and there's hundreds of people who come through here every day, and so it would be a poor place to hide something. Fundamentally, it's and also it turns out that you can literally just be an evil business person and not have to hide things to still be evil. So no is the answer. Everything about this place just screams normal place of business.
Are the boxes labeled?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So huge numbers of boxes are empty boxes for shipping things out. And then the rest of them, yeah, there's lots of things that are labeled. There's books for sale. There's clothes for sale. There's door stops for sale. It's really just like a giant warehouse of junk.
Okay.
anything that you could possibly want. There's food for sale of various sorts, mostly dried goods. They've got a wine collection that. I forgot to tell. The wine is so bad that Timothy notices. Sorry, just to put that in perspective. Yeah. There's if you want to find things here, you're gonna have to like find a way to find a back room or sneak away or something like that to look for something else. But this appears to be like a warehouse. Roll investigation check for me though, Thea.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You do like this place is very bland and boring, but you do see like security systems in place. There's gates, and it looks like there's some sort of magical insignia of some sort that you would have to sneak past if you're gonna get in. This is like it's just a warehouse, but it's also a warehouse filled with valuables of some sort. No individual thing in here is worth that much. You know, that doorstop over there that you're looking at is like 3 copper pieces, but it's in a box of them, and there's, you know, several thousand of them in this box, and then there's 6 boxes of them. So it's like between them all, that's, you know, some money. So it's it's a real storage place.
Okay. So we're kind of like filling out this paperwork, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're basically applying for a job as a adventurer. Yeah, Nova, why don't you roll an investigation check as you read this paperwork?
All right. 24.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's interesting. The pay is actually quite good, but one of the things that's sort of a problem is that you, nor your relatives, nor your descendants, nor anyone gets paid if you die. And from the way you're looking at this becomes pretty clear. This is the business model: hire people, throw lots of people at the problem, have a lot of them die, and then not have to pay them.
Classic.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Anything else, Narash, Thea, Nova? No. Okay. Selexa, what did you get on that investigation check?
It's nat 1 for a total of 6.
Excellent. Beautiful. Well, you know, the truth of the matter is that his office that Kumi is searching is actually mostly full of legitimate, boring business stuff. And like, if there is something deeper in there to find, it's too deep for Kumi to do it in the time frame that Kumi has.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Were there anything like obvious like addresses or anything that just like laying around, I don't know, or anything pertaining to the auction that, you know, since it was coming up
yeah, that's a good question.
If it's absolutely nothing, that's fine, but I'm just wondering if what was on the surface.
Yeah, let me ponder for a second. Yeah, no, I don't think there's anything.
Totally fine. And
everything
the other
would be he's. Would there be anything?
Or like anything relating to the Madam of what's her name? Madam of the Illustrious Sea.
Yeah. I think actually what Kumi would find is a receipt for a hiring the services of an archmage to protect the goods for this event.
Okay, that's not too surprising. The other kind of related thing is that I think while they were in the room with the artifacts, I'm wondering what Celexa and or Timothy observed about like security measures that seem to be there. You mentioned like some kind of like
a hand panel of some sort.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'll allow a retroactive perception check.
Okay.
we go.
15.
Sure. Yeah. There are definitely security measures. As you were leaving, you saw him like close and lock a gate. You also saw him sort of re-put his hand on the stone that he put it on before. And he closes the door behind you so that you can't see. But as he does, you hear the grating of stone upon stone, almost as if something is being let into a room through a side entrance of some sort.
Interesting. Gotcha. What was the observable thing that happened with him putting his hand on the stone?
Yeah, so he puts his hand on the stone and then seemed to wait, and then sort of seemed to lean over and look closely. Again, the stone is pretty low to the ground because he's a halfling. But you know, he seemed to lean over and look closely, and then sort of removed his hand and nodded. And nothing bright, nothing flashy.
Okay, gotcha.
Although I will also say definitively, the stone did not depress. It wasn't a button. That answer your questions?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're kind of trying to figure out what's going on, and that seems like that's possibly helpful information, but who knows?
Yeah.
So are we rendezvousing back together? Is that kind of where we're at?
Seems like it.
Okay.
So the five of you get back together.
So what, guys? What do you? I don't know what you guys found out, but the stone it's here. At least until maybe they're moving it out tomorrow morning. But if we want it, we might need to get it tonight or early tomorrow.
Can we take a look around to whatever degree it's possible to sort of circumnavigate the building to see what entrances there are and any security measures we can detect?
Yeah, absolutely. Why don't you roll a perception check for me? Took a second to go through. Yeah, absolutely. So doing a circumnavigation of the building, you see that there are this one primary entrance is sort of the welcome visitors entrance. There's a side entrance that's sort of like an office worker entrance, and then there's a back entrance. I don't think of it as back as like secret or anything like that, but back as in on the other side of the building. That seems to be like just another entrance for more people for more convenience. So those three entrances, sort of on the, we'll call them the north, south, and west entrances to the building. In terms of security measures, you do see security guards seem to be working in the place, as well as, but any serious security is going to be interior. It's going to be for the vault itself. That's Alexa within.
Are there windows?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's an office building. It's not. This is not a fortress designed to keep people out. The vault might be, but the exterior building, the vault is inside, just a standard office building. So yes, there's definitely windows, places to be. There's a stable attached for people who want to quarter a pony.
If we want to move before tomorrow morning, I'm going to need to sleep now.
Sleep seems like a good idea.
So do we want to do this in the morning, early in the morning?
Well, the other option would be to try and I don't know, to try to catch it in transit or at the auction, and both of those seem like they would attract more attention. Although Yeah, I can also say that there may be a mage waiting to protect it. Either I don't, maybe they're here tonight, or maybe they won't arrive till tomorrow. So we should be prepared for that.
Has Humphrey left the building yet?
Not yet. Yes, not yet. It's let's see. Yeah, I think Selexa's Lady Almira's little and came in and sort of interrupted him, and he had to finish his work after she left. But probably won't be that long. He doesn't, he's diligent and a focused person would be your read on him, but not he's not the type to curl up and sleep with in the vault or whatever.
Because there's always a kidnapping, not as low profile.
How would kidnapping him get us closer to the stone?
Well, presumably he could undo any security measures along the way and give us a heads up on, essentially if we threatened him, give us a heads up on how we could best steal it. Then we'd have a captive and we'd have, who knows what we would do at that point.
We just don't have a lot of time. And so I'm wondering, and like I said, and I'm entirely spent to resources. I need sleep. So.
Well, rest would be good for me too, because I could load some spells like Dispel Magic and Detect Magic into the Ioun Stone.
It's also, it was technically earlier today that you guys did a battle inside of Selexa's Souls, so, it's been a long day.
I'm wondering if we can come before dawn tomorrow and work together to see if we can liberate a few things from the office.
That sounds like a reasonable plan. You guys, do you have a place that you're staying, or did you literally arrive in Prime today?
Is this? No, we did arrive today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sorry, it's just been literally over a month since we arrived out of game. It's been a long day. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. So I think that oh, okay. You hear a voice. There you all are. Hi, Cat's Grace back here. How you doing?
Hello.
How are you? Pardon me, everyone. It's good to see you all. But Selexa, how are you feeling?
Hi, Cat. It's I think I'm fine. And I have to say thank you for for helping me and for bringing us to Ashra. Without your help, I don't know what we would have done.
She's quite the impressive person. So I don't know what you guys are thinking, but I got us a place in town just in case you needed a place to stay. Happy to bring you there and show you around if you see fit. There's also a little they do a room service if you want to just have some food delivered to your room so that you can have a chill night in. That's what I would have wanted. Although of course if you want to go out on the town, I'm happy to take you out and party as well.
Lex looks around and is like, "Can you believe this guy? Amazing." I think that we are ready to have a chill night in. I think that's was our consensus. Does everybody feel that way?
Excellent.
Lead the way.
Of course. Yeah, and he just turns around and he starts walking, chatting as he goes. And he says, and of course, if anyone is, wants a chill night in to have something to do, I do have a deck of cards. I've got a puzzle. I've got a chess set as well. If anyone wants to play a game of dragon chess or anything like that, any of those good stuff to do. Of course, just let me know. I'm here to amuse and entertain. And he takes you to a hotel. It's interesting. There's like this really gorgeous hotel on one side of the street, and then across the street there's sort of this. It's an okay hotel, I would say. Little bit. It looks like it was like incredibly nice at one point, but it's slightly gone downhill. And he takes you to the slightly gone downhill one. Not that it's horrible, but it's just like this has been slightly better days. This has seen slightly better days. And he takes you in and gets you up to your rooms, and everyone's got individual rooms here, so space. Does anyone have any scenes that they want to have happen this evening?
Not necessarily a scene. I do want to do what I suggested and prepare the Ioun Stone. Few spells. So I'll have a few spares.
Excellent. Always a smart call. Okay. Then from that perspective, I think we should discuss what the heist is. If we're doing it, sounds like the consensus is that we want to hit it where it is currently, just bright and orderly in the morning, before it goes into movement and transition. That seems like the plan.
That was Selex's suggestion, but I don't know if that was a consensus.
Nova and Thea give the thumbs up. Dealing with objects in motion as they have learned in a different RPG can be tricky. Yeah, okay, so the consensus is we'll hit it in the morning, bright and early, before before the place opens. Your meetings were scheduled for 7:30, so it probably opens early. So I'm going to presume you all get a long rest, and then are waking up early and figuring out what you want to do for this heist, what this is going to look like. And I think we'll cut to that scene, unless someone has something that they want. Great, then let's heist it up. Do you heal all the way? Yes. You get full health, and you get half your spent hit dice back.
Oh yeah, that too. I forgot about that part.
Yes, Timothy.
Who feels like they are the most artistic in game? Is it
what character?
Feel crafty? Arts and crafty?
Are you're asking about a character or a player?
In-game character.
Got it. No, I mean, I dabble a little. I could construct something small if you have need of me to. I wouldn't say that I'm an expert by any means, and I'm certainly not a craftsman, but I have a keen eye for detail and dexterous paws.
And charming.
Yes. And I'm so charming.
He's a dragon of taste, certainly.
Yes. Immeasurably.
Well, here, please, dragonborn of taste.
Oh, certainly, of course.
Yes.
Well, I thought we could perhaps craft a fake gem, and then maybe that would buy us a few hours before they realize that it's missing.
Do you have any?
This factory is full of a bunch of random things. I'm sure we can find something that looks like a gem in there.
Do any of you know what the gem looks like?
I have committed it to memory. Also, I have this news article about it.
Right. I am not that crafty, but
Is it how big is it? Is it like an exceptionally large gem?
Yeah, it's definitely on the larger side. I wouldn't say it's huge, but it's like fist-sized, which is actually huge in the real world, but inside a fantasy world, it's actually big, not huge. If that makes sense.
I have a box of gems. If someone could make one bigger.
Is there a reason that we would want to delay discovery? Would that bias anything in particular?
Faster escape, or rather, safer escape. Also, fooling your enemies is sometimes just fun. I mean, I'm not saying that they're your enemies or something like that, but sometimes, like, they think they have the gem and they're so happy and proud and smug and, you know, smug buttholes and all that good stuff. But then, like, they get it and it's, like, not what they're looking for. And then you can just sort of, ha 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 ha.
Precisely.
But as we were saying, a dragonborn of taste.
Yes, well, you know.
I can use my cantrip to mold earth to make something in the shape of a gem. Of course, it would just look like stone or dirt.
Alternatively, if we can find what we're looking for and all get into the same place. That's an interesting question. I was going to say I could potentially lead us all, get us all out within a minute, and take us to someplace far away.
Where are we going after this?
Well, I have this nicely plotted map of all the other reported sightings and, you know, unexplainable phenomena regarding the objects around the time Illumina blew up. If anyone would like to, you know, go on an adventure.
Yeah, where are there were a lot of those, right? A lot of those items kind of spread all around.
Yeah.
Were there others around here specifically, or do we have how it's a good question. Where do we want to go after this?
Yeah, they're scattered and there's a fair bit of them in various places. At some point, we'll probably need to talk about how we want to expend resources to gather ones in various places beyond us. But for now, at least, in general, they seem to be they make almost a spread out star pattern from the island of Terravest, floating city of Terravest, where the explosion took place. So there's a bunch in Abarak. There's a couple in Chalestra. There's a couple out here. There's some in Sunera. There's even some reported sightings out in the middle of the ocean, in various positions and various postures. And as you're saying this, who would make the most sense here? Nova, can you make a investigation check?
Yes. And I'd like to add a D10 for fun.
Okay.
It's a 30.
Yeah, absolutely. I will flat out tell you that you guys had your hands on one. A table that was in the middle of the ocean.
Fish court.
Fish court.
What about that painting?
It's almost certainly one as well.
And the statue.
And the statue. That's almost certainly one as well.
Do we have an idea of how many there are?
Yeah, there are about 100. But some are larger than others. And some would be more impactful or significant than others. This gem would be a pretty impactful one. The statue is an impactful one. The painting is an impactful one. Sort of the more impactful they are, the more stories there are about them. So you're more likely to hunt the most effective ones. Yeah, we'll see where we go. At some point, we'll be at a point where we could send like people like Nephany to go retrieve this small one over there or that small one over there and things like that. as like a potential long-term option as well, or raise your estimation inside the Grand Accord, and perhaps you can get even Grand Accord resources to be sent out to recover some of these as well. Not that that'll work for all of them, but yeah.
I will say, Narash should be. He understands how important this gem is, but he would also be disappointed to leave Oxiatal without. Sorry, my cat is acting really weird. Without learning more about the lab and making that connection he'd hoped to make. That being said, maybe there's just nothing for it.
I feel like once we make this, like if we can pull this off, it's going to be very difficult for us to get close to other like Songshore stuff for a little while, would be my guess. That security is going to be high, they'll be looking for us. But we could try. I mean, we could try. I don't know.
We can disguise ourselves.
Yeah, or maybe half of us go underneath to the lab while the other half try to steal the gem.
I am a bit concerned about the possible security around the gem. If it's the Hubert Longshore is a person of with many resources, and I would be surprised if he hadn't taken some precautions.
Yeah, maybe it's best to not split up the party. But if we went in disguise, then we could maybe stick around long enough to hit up the lab before we left.
Yeah, especially if we do like the switch, put the fake gem in there, that might buy us more time to look in the lab.
Well, we could ask Celexa to resume her costume from yesterday, and then if she's seen, the person that will be looked for is a noblewoman from Sinira.
Well, one way or another, I'll be disguised, for sure. And I can get myself and possibly Thea in, and into the chamber. But the bigger question is, how do we get everybody out, and what might be in the chamber waiting for us is another question.
Probably some kind of construct. That's my guess.
Who knows? So
this is a minor point at this point. Pardon me for intruding in any way, shape, or form. But and this is definitively a minor point. But I had a thought that Timothy, you mentioned replacing the gem or constructing something to replace the gem, and she would never approve of something like this. So you definitely couldn't tell her that this is what you were doing. But certainly, if what Nova said is true, and you have a box of small gems, and you could give one of them to Ashra, she certainly has the capability of making a gem that would look like it. Not that that matters. And again, she wouldn't approve, and so you'd probably have to lie to her, and I don't really recommend that just as a way of life. But, just if you wanted... Sorry.
There's also, by the way, there's also a very evil-looking scroll for auction, just by the by. Very pricky. Very prickly.
A scroll that is prickly?
The scroll case, to be fair. I mean, the scroll itself could also be prickly, but I didn't open it.
Anyone know anything about prickly scrolls? Okay, cool.
Hey, Ruin, do you know anything about prickly scrolls?
Can we destroy it?
I don't know, probably.
Would it be fun to destroy it?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, then I know that it would be fun to destroy a prickly scroll.
Okay.
I have a crazy idea, and this is totally out of our wheelhouse. I don't even know why I'm suggesting this, but what if we just went right now and just like busted in the front door and went to take what we want and leave?
Fight our way in?
I mean, I don't know. I just feel like we've never really tried that before, and I'm wondering if it might be worth a shot.
Scare some office workers?
Well, if we go right now, then hopefully there will be few people there.
So, I mean, as opposed to what? You mean trying to be sneakier and not be seen on the way in?
I mean, I kind of feel like it's like whenever we try and be sneaky, there's like shit always goes up in flames anyways. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we can just lean into it.
There will be wanted posters, of course, if you take that route. And but sure, why not? Just
yeah, we could disguise ourselves, even just cover our faces. At least something. If we're gonna go full blast, straightforward.
Full throttle is the word you're looking for. I know that you wouldn't be experienced with that word yet, but full throttle. Trust me, it's exactly what you mean.
Yeah, it would be worth it to just like cover our faces, be clothed, whatever it would be, so that if there's any possibility of getting out and buying ourselves another day or so, that would be helpful.
Could also raid the lab while you're there. Not to push it in.
Oh, is the lab directly below this building?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood that.
Oh, no worries. I barely understood anything that Timothy says.
I heard it from you, though.
Oh, but, well, whatever. I'm just saying that, like I can understand Timothy barely at all, then it makes sense that you can barely understand me.
Well, maybe what we have to do is make our way in a sneaky fashion as we can. And then if we manage to not raise a huge alarm or keep whatever might go on within the four walls of that building, we can have an hour or so to do some quick exploration downstairs before we get out.
That sounds good. I for one, think we should not bank on blowing things up and killing people. That's what I prefer.
Well, the longer that we take to wait, the more likely that there will be people in the way. So,
Oh, yes, that reminds me. And Kat goes and opens the door and brings in cups of coffee for everyone that were delivered to room service.
This is so exotic. Is this like a caramel with frothed dairy?
Yes, that's a local specialty.
It's delicious.
The froth can collect at the bottom if you don't mix it up a little bit too much. Still, then you'd have froth. It's fun. Or foam. And I think as he's saying this, he's got a little bit of a foam mustache on his dragonborn snout.
You got a little thing anyway.
Oh, yes.
All right, I agree with Celexa. Let's just move out and do the best we can.
Okay. So you guys make your way across town. It is in the wee, early hours of the morning. I think it's probably like 3:45 ish. Would be the time conversion. I don't know what time it is because I didn't figure out a time system for this planet, so we're just gonna assume it's on Earth time. So it's 3:45 a.m. And yeah, so like there's very little going on. There are parts of town where there are things going on, but even there, things are winding down. And here, there's nothing. It feels dead. The air is it's kind of the coolest part of the night before sunrise starts to heat up everything. So there's even a little bit of a chill in the air, which is unusual in Prion. And the streets are well and truly abandoned. I think we have a shot of like a abandoned newspaper just sort of lying in the middle of the street, and some dust swirling around as you guys make your way towards this building. So what's the approach? We've got 3 entrances that are obvious. There may be other ones as well if you want to. I don't know.
Quick overview of the what are the entrances again? Front door.
Front door, side door, back door.
Okay.
Front door seems to be the one that is geared, like very specifically geared towards the public. This is like there's a receptionist there that you met. There's other people there. Obviously not right now, but the other entrances seemed more geared towards people who are working there.
Should we do the front door since then Alexa and Timothy, you would know how to get to the gem from there? Since you've been there.
Are we disguised? Are we blocking out our faces? Are we Timothy?
Might I suggest we all, or anyone who isn't magically disguised, maybe we can wear those creepy masks that the jackal alien gave us?
Now we're a cult.
Those are horrifying. I love it. Jackal alien. Right. I did not like him.
Where was the gate? That was the gate that he closed.
It was an interior gate.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It was to the vault itself.
Gotcha. Gate to the vault. Okay.
Detect magic. I have 10 minutes, right? Is that correct?
Yeah. If you cast it as a ritual, you have 10 minutes, 30-foot area, 30-foot radius around you. You'll detect magic.
So I'm going to go ahead and do that now, just to try to detect any traps that we might otherwise set off.
Perfect. Yeah. Immediately you detect a spell tied to the front door. Very, very clearly. Let's see. This would be I'm 99% certain this is an abjuration spell, which is the magic of protection. And seems to be going like a straight line across the door.
A straight line that we could do a conga under, or a limbo, I mean?
Sorry. It is a plane that affects the door.
Very quickly, I'm going to run around the corner and see if the side door is the same.
Yep.
And the back.
Yep.
Okay.
And also you notice some of the windows. In fact, all of the ground floor windows.
Second floor?
No.
Hey, we can climb.
But once, eventually we're going to have to come back out again. Do we have a preference of which entrance we go in through?
Well, if there is a way that we can get in without having everybody know all at once.
I mean, I could just cast Dispel Magic on one of these. Just wondering which one would be best. Do you have a sense, Alexa or Tim, that you would be able to connect with the part of the building you were in if we came in through the back door?
Yeah. What door would be closest to the vault, Matt?
Yeah. I can actually look at the map and determine that. The side entrance, definitively. Wow. That's not even close. Definitely the side entrance.
Well, definitely the side entrance.
Okay, I cast Dispel Magic on the on that magic plane on the side entrance.
Yep, and it just pops out of existence like that. No roll, because it is lower than your Dispel Magic spell, so it just immediately is gone.
All right, we're set to go.
Okay.
Yeah, so as you start approaching, Thea, you notice that the door is locked, and on the other side of the door, there is a small security station with a couple of people at it. There's a kobold and a human. They look bored. They seem to be playing a little game where they fold up pieces of paper and try and knock it through each other's fingers while they're there. And you notice immediately that there's two of them. But what's your passive perception?
Where is it?
Oh, what's your perception?
Yeah.
Be on the bottom left of your character sheet.
Oh, right. 17.
Ah, beautiful. Yeah, so you notice that there's two of them there, but you also notice that there's 6 cups.
Okay. So before we go in, I just go, shh. There's guards in there.
Are they right by the door?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're about 20 feet back from the door, but the door has a window in it, so you can sort of see through into them, into there a little bit. They're certainly in a position to notice if the door opens, but and get there quickly if they need to.
Okay. Yeah, can you quietly pick the lock?
I quietly pick the lock.
Cool. Yeah, roll thieves' tools with dexterity.
And 21.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Thea goes up to quietly pick the lock. Slex, are you doing something while she's doing that?
Yeah. I am going to cast silence, and cast it like halfway between the door and the guards.
Mm-hmm. So that they can't hear each other speak, and also will not be able to hear the door unlock. Is that the plan?
Right. So the plan is to cast, because they'll notice, of course, when this happens.
Yep.
The plan is to cast it as soon as the final lock tumbles in place and we're ready to go. I'm going to cast silence.
Perfect. Yeah. So final lock tumbles into place, and the door is pulled open, and immediately Slixa casts silence, and the guards look, and one of them points and says, and they start like going for equipment and weapons, and one of them like, and they just start. Yeah, Nova.
Nova would like to run in and tackle one of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Roll an athletics check, or athletics to grapple.
Okay. All right.
I'll use guidance on this as well.
Yeah, absolutely. At a D4. Add a D4 if you want. I'm not going to succeed. I'm not going to beat that though.
Yeah.
10. Yeah, absolutely. So you run in and you tackle this guard. There's still the other one's still here, and is just like looking around and starts fumbling around looking for like a club, and pulls out a club. Anyone?
I'm gonna try to shoot the club out of his hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Why don't you make an attack roll? Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Can you roll damage if you can do more damage than his strength saving throw? Then you will easily knock it out of his hand. Yep. The club goes flying out of his hand and would have made like a plunk plunk as it bounces off the floor, except it's silent in there completely. And the guard just sort of like looks around and like
Timothy will tie them up, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So you go forward and you tie the two of them up, and they sort of look around, and one of them is just like mouthing curses at you, not profound curses like curse words, not a spellcaster if that's right. Yeah, absolutely. Where do you put them outside? Do you put them underneath the desk? Do you put them at the desk? What's the plan?
I'd say we should put them outside the door and close the door.
On the street?
Well, I
I mean,
mean,
actually, it's on the lot, so it's not actually on the street itself because it's the side door.
How about under the desk?
Yeah, that's fine.
I like that.
Okay, absolutely. So you put them underneath the desk.
Timothy's also going to write a note and leave it like on the desk. It says like, "Gone to check the side door."
Perfect. I love it. Yeah. Why don't you roll a deception check for me?
Okay.
Again, guidance.
Roll a d4.
Okay.
So it'll be a DC 11 int check when they show up to see if they believe it or not. Absolutely. Yeah. So there's this guard desk here, and the hallways. There's a large hallway to your left that would take you towards the front door, and then a hallway straight ahead, which will take you towards the area outside the vault.
Did we see any keys or any sort of equipment that could help us along the way on the guards or in the room?
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. The guards have keys on them. You and Nova are on the exact same page, so I think that Narash and Nova find the guards and like tap them down and find the keys on each of them respectively, and both pull them out simultaneously and have that awkward moment where they look at each other. I found the keys. It's silent, so you can't say anything, but you both found the same keys.
All right, let's move.
Mm-hmm. You start making your way down the hallway. Narash, as you're moving forward, your detect magic that you have active pings again, and you sense around the corner from you. There's no walls in the way, but around the corner, where the entrance to the vault is, you sense a divination spell.
Am I able to tell its effect at all?
Mm-hmm. Roll an Arcana check.
18.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a spell that you're a little bit familiar with. It is a spell of observation called clairvoyance. It allows someone to watch a location where they are not. Sorry, not clairvoyance. Arcane eye. Arcane eye, sorry.
Are we still in the cone of silence as we're standing here right now?
No, we have progressed beyond it.
So I'll say, as soon as we turn the corner, we'll be watched magically. I can dispel it, but that'll be my second time, and I won't have any more.
Could I dispel it using my magic shield?
That's a good question for somebody who knows.
I thought that someone was you.
Oh, let me think.
Certainly possible.
Maybe it's just best if I do it and your magic shield can take the next obstacle? Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and cast it again, Dispel Magic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So you cast Dispel Magic, and I need you to roll. This will be a d20 plus your Wisdom mod. So just a Wisdom roll.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you attempt to cast Dispel Magic, but nothing is dispelled. The magic is just very stuck where it is. You could try again if you wanted, but it'll cost another slot.
Let me take a quick look at my spell list to see what else I might need there. Gosh.
Who's while Narash is focusing on this and Timothy's with Narash, what are the rest of you guys focusing on? I'm just curious. Who's on the hallway behind us? Who's on the hallway on the other side of this?
I think I'm kind of listening for if there's any other guards around.
Yeah, why don't you roll a perception check?
11.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You hear. Sorry, your passive perception is 17, so I'm gonna roll with that. It was a chance for you to do better since you were actively doing it. So you are there, and you're a little distracted by what's going on with them discussing the spell when you hear on the other side footsteps and casual conversation. So let me just draw a quick little sketch of where we're at right here. I'll be in the bottom left of the map that we're on, the map that I dragged you guys to, and I'm just going to draw a little. Let's make this one. It's a really ugly color. Let's find a better color than that. Okay, green. Okay, olive. Okay, we're gonna be olive. Okay, so look at my sketch, isn't it pretty? So just to clarify, text you, arcane eye, approaching guards, or at least the sound of approaching guards. So that's sort of the situation we find ourselves in.
Well, I think that Narash, I think that if we get rid of the eye, they'll notice anyways, and they'll come running. I think we should just we should go for it. Somebody needs to go and take care of those guards, and then the rest of us can Nova, we might need you to get through the gate and into the vault.
I was gonna say counterplan. We let the guards come to us around the corner. We take them out. We steal all their uniforms, and then we go past the eye.
Well, sure, yeah.
So the guards, when they turn the corner, will see you guys at this point. Do you want to use your keys to back into an office or something like that so that you can ambush them? Excellent. Okay. So, yeah, your keys work on the office doors quite easily. There are doors along the hallway. There's offices along the hallway. So you guys pull back into the offices on either side of this. And the guards are talking. And they are approaching. Can I have everyone please... I would like everyone to roll a stealth check.
I'm going to use guidance on myself because stealth is not my strong suit.
Okay.
I think I have disadvantage.
You're wearing heavy armor?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I will give Nova a inspiration die for that.
Okay.
So you can put a D8 on top of yours.
A D8.
Well, yeah. I've already rolled really poorly.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, so let's see. For Timothy, we got a 21. For Thea, we got a 22. For Narash, we got a 5. For Celexa, we got a 16. And for Nova, we got a 23. Nova, this is the stealthiest you have ever been. Narash, tell me, why do you screw this up so badly?
I think as we're rushing into the office, I'm kind of too hurried, and my stupid manticore tail smacks on the side of the door as I'm coming in and gets stuck for a second.
Yeah, absolutely. So your manticore tail hits into a door and then gets stuck, and you have to like pull it out, and you hear do you hear that? Yeah. What do you think that is? Yeah. We should definitely investigate. Let's be careful. And you hear them start to creep forward. Who's in the office with Narash and who's in the office across the way? You're with Narash?
Then I must also be with Narash.
Okay.
Because I
Oh no, I'll be in the opposite opposite Narash then, because we both have different keys.
Oh right. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So you're opposite Narash. So who's with Nova?
Then I think I was with Nova because I gave her an inspiration.
Yes, because you inspired Nova. That makes perfect sense. So then Timothy, you're with Narash. And then Thea, which side are you on?
I think I'll be with Nova.
Okay, absolutely. So from that perspective, then I think the guards are coming. They see the damage to the door from the manticore tail, and they make that eye contact with each other, and then they like pull out their equipment, and they're about to like jump on it. And you see one of them has like a wand with a light spell cast on it and is pointing it in that direction. And like there's this searchlight going. They start moving forward and they turn the corner and flash the light right on Narash and Timothy, opening themselves up to an attack from behind from the team across the hallway. With all their wonderful successful stealth checks. So what do the three of you do?
I grapple one of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Why don't you roll an athletics check? You have advantage on this.
Alright, I want to try to grapple the one with the light so they can't see. 16.
Okay, I will contest that, but I fail. So grappled to the ground. What about the other guard?
I would also like to grapple.
Athletics check. At advantage. I keep on rolling 11s. Nothing I can do about it. It's just not going to beat in a 17. So yeah, the other one. So they both get grappled and slammed to the ground. And from that perspective, you guys are now in a position to again tie them up if you see fit. And I think Timothy steps forward with the rope and does that again. Yeah.
And this time disrobing them, right?
Okay. Yeah. So you guys have 2 guard uniforms now.
Can we run back and do the other ones that are under the...
Sure. You've got 4 guard uniforms now.
Celexa is now wearing a guard uniform.
You've got 4 guard uniforms and an illusion of a guard uniform now. And Narash, your detect magic pings illusion. Celexa does this. Absolutely.
Got you.
Absolutely. And you guys turn the corner and see sort of it's like a roll door. And in front of it is a fence, not a fence, like a chain, a set of chains that are crossed against each other that would need to be unlocked.
Yeah.
Can I pick the lock?
Yes, you is that what you do? You just move forward and pick the lock?
Yeah.
Okay, absolutely. Can you roll your Thieves' Tools check?
30, wow.
Absolutely. And so you manage to undo the lock, and the gate starts to open, and a gas emits from the lock that is there to poison you. Can you roll a Constitution saving throw for me?
Yep.
This is against poison, if that matters. So it's going to be 14 points of poison damage, and you are suffering from the poisoned condition.
What does that mean?
You have disadvantage on skill checks moving forward.
Okay.
Until you are cured. But the door is unlocked. Sorry, the gate is unlocked, and that gives you a position to to move forward if you want.
Can someone cure Thea?
I'm just looking at my options right now.
Oh, I can. Yeah, sorry. I forgot that I can do things. I cast protection from poison on Thea.
Yep, that'll cure. Thea, you're no longer poisoned.
Ooh, thank you.
So the gate can be opened, and there is still a door. Is that correct? Or...
No. The gate's like a roll top gate at this point, and will be you can roll it open as you see fit.
Okay. Are we ready? Are we gonna head in? I think as soon as we are ready, I think that Celexa is, I don't know, Celexa is going to cast greater invisibility on herself and then open the door.
Absolutely. So you roll the gate up, opening the space, and as she does, immediately, Narash, I think we're at the end of your detect magic here. It's been about 10 minutes, but I think immediately as she does that, you sense that there's another one of those abjuration planes in front of you, just on the other side of this. As long as no one moves forward, you won't be crossing it. It's just like immediately on the inside of the gate.
So I motion to everyone.
Do we have a way to dismiss it?
I have one more. Well, actually, I might have two more because I have 3 spell slots plus the Ioun Stone.
Yeah, that would give you 2 more.
So yeah, I'll dispel magic once again. Well, does it matter since we're guards now? I guess that's the question. Whether the
it's up to you. I'm going in one way or the other, so you can dismiss it. You can get rid of it or not.
I would dismiss it.
All right, I will dismiss it, or I will attempt to dismiss it.
It's gone instantly. It's not high enough level to stop you. So just the casting of the spell immediately dismisses it. The room before you is a wide open room with pedestals all along it. Each of these pedestals has a glass casing on top of it with an item inside of it, to some degree or another. And the room itself seems very empty, but it also seems very dark. Like light doesn't seem to penetrate here as well as you would want it to.
Can anyone detect magic again?
I can, because that's another one I put in the Ioun Stone. So I'll go ahead and do that.
Yeah, absolutely. The room is certainly longer than 30 feet, but the first thing you do is you cast the spell, and just for a second, as you finish casting the spell, you sense an illusion, but then it just scatters away.
Did I sense exactly, was it placed in a particular place?
It was on the wall.
There's something in here. There's some sort of magic that I can't see.
Sluxa?
Wall, and it ran away.
Sluxa, are you storming in?
Yeah, so Lexa is storming in. She will I think she's just going to start grabbing stuff off the pedestals.
Yeah. So as you enter, Timothy, sorry, first.
As we're going in though, can Timothy put, is there like an empty pedestal or a chair or something? Timothy wants to move something underneath the rolling gate.
Yeah, you want to prop it up or something. That's your idea.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, you can as Lex is removing things, you can move one of them there. But as you're moving in, you hear a voice that giggles. You're not a songshore.
Creepy.
I don't think you're welcome here. We'll give you a chance to leave if you want, but we can't let you take these things.
Can I tell what direction it's coming from?
Yeah, absolutely. Roll a perception check. It's very cavernous in here, so things are echoing.
7.
Yeah, it seems to be coming from over there, and then over there, and then over there. And then you hear, like, the most solid sound that you've heard. Whoomp, which is, like, maybe 25 feet past you, and in the center. And suddenly, a creature appears before you. You recognize, with a flourish, the removal of an invisibility spell. Or at least an invisibility feature of some sort. And you see a humanoid with long, membranous wings, probably about 7 feet-ish tall, but the wingspan fully extended to about 12 feet. And each of the wings is tipped with a single scimitar-like claw that's more than a foot long and crazy sharp. Their bodies are extendedly long and their legs hyper short, but they do have talons on their feet as well.
You said there, is that just like is there a several, or it's gender indeterminate?
Roll a perception check.
Okay. 6.
Mhm.
Natural 1.
As far as you know, this is the only one. So for now, I am not gendering them. But I will say that it did say we.
Okay.
What that means is everything. However, looking at it even closer, it's very different from a humanoid because it seems to have eyes going around its head in a circle, 7 of them, all around it. And the eyes are like yellow and have no pupils. And it seems to be very while the eyes around it are perfectly symmetrically aligned, the head itself is this bulbous, malformed thing. It's like a weird. You've never seen anything like this. In fact, Timothy, can you roll a nature check for me?
Sure.
While he's doing that, are the eyes yellow in a similar way to the Rakshasas?
I wouldn't put too much stock in their connection. They're not controlled in the same way. In 18. Yeah, Timothy, I'm quite comfortable saying this is not a creature from this planet. And as it stands there challenging you and inviting you to leave, what do you do?
I'd like to yell at it.
Mm-hmm. To what point? To what intent?
I'd like to see if I can scare it.
Okay. Yeah, it does not seem scared.
Oh, darn. I yell something like, "We haven't been killed by anything yet, and you won't be the first."
Celexa is continuing her direct and almost rash behavior from the rest of the morning, and she just starts attacking it. She releases a barrage of Eldritch Blasts.
Excellent. Then we will use that to kick off the combat that we'll do next session. You guys against the weird bat-like creature with multiple eyes and a bulbous head. Very creepy. Awesome. Cool. Well, then that'll be the end of the session, and let's hand out some experience points and all that good stuff while we're here. Oh wow, you guys really gained a level last time. Cool. Okay, let's check this out. Nova, how'd you do?
I think I threw myself into danger. I tackled a couple people.
I strongly agree. And protected your crew.
Yeah. I think that I'm working towards getting the first part of Illumina Starborn.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I've completed pretending to know things about crying.
Yeah. I'll accept that. Works for me. Okay. And Celexa.
Okay. Guiding Light, I feel like there's some connections that she needs to make that she has not yet made.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna say no points for Guiding Light right now.
Sounds
good. Belief 1, sort of shedding her burden about the secrecy of Recha and the Grand Accord. I feel like that's done.
Yep.
So check on that. And then Belief 2, calling on the party to move into action right away, and then also just generally acting with a renewed sense of urgency. I feel like that's something that she was strong in doing this time.
Yeah.
So I would say 2 for that as well.
Strongly agree.
Okay.
Absolutely. Narash.
Yeah, Guiding Light, expanding my understanding of my planet and Isaim. I think so. I mean, I made some connections, getting to understand the kind of political situation with Songshore. So I would say that would be a yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Joining the Grand Accord. So we did discuss it. I don't know if this belief is closed, but I don't know if there's any progress to make on it
at this point. Yeah, I agree. I think we'll give you a point for working towards it, and then feel free to erase it and get a new belief as you need. Sometimes beliefs can't. Sometimes you work towards a belief and then realize I can't accomplish this, or I don't want to accomplish this anymore, and that's totally okay.
And then belief 2, wanting to discover more about the lab and see if you can devise a way to get to visit it. Well, that was in progress. We'll see if it actually happens. So I think that's a 1 as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. Thea.
The guiding light. I think we worked as a team well today. Belief 1. Thea wanted to make herself available for any plans. I think she did.
Yep.
Belief 2, wanting to like talk to or confront Alexa about the Grand Accord. She already kind of just opened up about it, so that just kind of happened.
Yeah. It was who could draw faster and select drew faster. Yeah, it happens sometimes. No big deal. Absolutely. Cool. And Timothy.
Guiding light? I don't think so. We are going after the Illumina object, so I would say working towards.
Yep.
And not for number 2.
Okay. What was number 2?
Getting leverage on a certain pirate queen.
Oh yes.
Very convinced. Timothy's very convinced that it is her, but I can see both why and why not to be convinced that it is her. So yes. Does anyone else have any theories about who the Madam of the Illustrious Sea is?
Martha Swarm.
Interesting. It's funny. This is one of those things where, without spoiling anything at all, like I put it in and I was convinced that it was too obvious of an alias. Like it's like one of those things that it's just one of those, but like you never know what's too obvious of an alias or anything like that, so who knows. Well, anyway, guys, that was a lot of fun. That is a 16-point session, so rah team, and woot woot. Okay, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you had a good time. Please go forth and live good and happy lives, and as always, don't forget the best advice that we can possibly offer you. Never forget to call your cat and feed your mom. Bye, everyone.